era known as the Gilded Age or the Belle Epoque, and it's a chiffon and lace tea gown. Ladies of means would have worn them probably in the afternoon when they're having a little garden party. In those days, they would change many times a day. So this was an afternoon social type of garment. And they were known to be very romantic. If you think of the Gibson girls, this lavish lace, the beautiful rose printed silk chiffon, many, many layers, the big trains. From the back, they looked as elegant as from the front. Women's role in society drastically changed once World War I came along. Everything collapsed. So this was an era that was like a little time capsule that just existed for maybe 1890s into the 1910s. They wore big hats, beautiful, beautiful jewelry. Art Nouveau was also at its peak at this time. You were living in a dream and it would go on forever. But this dress is a typical garment that would have been worn. It's all hand assembled. But the lace itself is machine-made lace. In the late 19th century, machines finally came along that could replicate the handmade laces of the earlier 19th century and late 17th century. This dress was probably made by a dressmaker. Sometimes the dressmaker would come to ladies' home and help pick out color, fabric, lace to go with the fabric, the design of the dress. This has a little poof in the front, so this was known, if it were on a mannequin, you would see that the front, the bust came out with, it was called a pigeon breast or a mono bosom. The way the corsets were at that time kind of pushed your butt out and your bust forward, so there was this very sinuous S shape to the side of the figure. The typical Gibson woman or the Belle Epoque woman would have had a very elaborate hairdo worn up with a huge, huge hat. She would probably need help getting in and out of this dress. There are so many little hooks and eyes to do and undo. There's a couple of layers underneath. There's boning, which would have gone over her corset. The corset would have gone over a chemise. And then on top of that, there would have been silk petticoats and underdrawers, and finally the dress. So this is a summer dress. You can imagine what it was like to have all those layers and still be out there in the summer sun. It's kind of hard to imagine the way we dress today.